Alright guys, just finished up a 2023 Chevy Silverado. This was a 1500 High Country. It's got a 4-inch zone lift, 37-1350 Haida 869s, 26x10 replica wheels. Now this is a very tight clearance build, so we did have to add an extra 1/2 inch of lift on the front, move the bumper forward 3/4 of an inch, trim some of the inner plastics, the lower valence, and do a mud flap delete. Show you some of that here. So we got the mud flap delete, a little bit of inner plastic trimming, trimmed some of the valence, your inner plastics here, and then you can see we've got the bumper shifted forward 3/4 of an inch, and it does clear with that setup. Now Zone is going to be a sister company to BDS. It's just a little bit more budget friendly. Still a very similar kit to theirs. Made in the same place and designed very similarly. Still got great axle angles. Zone recently just came out with their new control arms. These are going to be their cast arms that replace their boxed steel control arms that they previously had. So because this is a 1350, we did have to add a 3/8 wheel spacer front and rear to keep the tire from touching the steering knuckle and the rear leaf springs. Now some 1350 tires are not as wide as the others, so if you have one that's a little bit narrower, you can probably get away from having to run the spacers, and maybe even get away without having to do some of the clearancing we had to do. If they had a 1250, that would be a perfect fitment, but they don't do a 1250 for a 3726, at least not currently. But if you're looking at doing the setup, say on like a set of factory 20s or even 22s, and you wanted to do a 37 1250, that would be a really great setup and not have to do nearly as much clearancing. Now if you're looking at this build and thinking, I want to do that to my GMC, not going to work. Don't even try it. GMCs do not have nearly as much clearance as the Chevrolet, so just want to stop you right there. Now on the rear, it's just going to have your zone shocks and your 3/8 lift block and your bump stop extension. Very simple setup. Now just as comparison, we've got this Denali here we just finished, and it's got the 4-inch BDS doing 35-1150s, very minor trimming, and it clears well, but total different look on the GMC with 35s as opposed to the Chevrolet with 37s, both at 4 inches. I'm sure we'll do a video on that one as well. I'm going to show you this one too. On this one we've got the Cognito 4-inch airbag set up in 35s. Alright guys, that's it on this one. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, stay tuned for more.